Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel, Mr. Football Loons, and today we are doing Game Week 13 of the Barclays Premier League, and we are going to start on the 27th of November. Arsenal are home to my club Newcastle United, and I'm predicting the result 3-2 to Arsenal. Arsenal did get battered 4-0 against Liverpool, yes, but you know, it's Newcastle, they're bottom of the league, the defence is all over the place. I think they can do it. The reason why I think it's going to be quite high scoring because Newcastle drew 3-0 against Brentford. And Newcastle deserved that game. I'm not trying to be biased, but that was their best game of all season and it was a draw. They still don't have a win. Don't think they are going to get a win, but I think they'll be coming close to it. Because the defence is all over the place, so they're going to concede. And if they're playing Darlow, they're definitely going to concede that amount. But if Dubravka gets back in the mix, then yeah, Newcastle do have Eddie Howe. Seemed to work out. Obviously, he wasn't there because of COVID, but I believe he did still help out with the club at home, probably saying all the instructions and everything, all the lineups and all that. But Arsenal, you know, they have more experience in the top 6 places. I think they're a better team. It's going to be quite high scoring between the two sides. So let's move on. Liverpool against Southampton. 3-1 to Liverpool. Now, I have actually seen all the highlights, I believe, for all these games, but only like 3-minute highlights on Sky Sports and YouTube. So not much, but Liverpool played quite well. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Salah and Mane and Jota, they just played all tremendously well when they won 4-0 against Arsenal. Absolute brilliant, and I don't think Southampton could do anything, because Southampton, you know, they do have some good players. They do have Ward-Prowse. They do have Shea Adams and Adam Armstrong. I think probably Ward-Prowse be putting a lovely ball in probably for Southampton. They'll probably get an odd goal against Liverpool, but Liverpool are too good for Southampton. 3-1. Moving on, Norwich City at home against Wolverhampton Wanderers, and I'm going 2-0 Wolves. Yes, Norwich do have a new manager. They did manage to pick up their second ever victory in this Premier League season against Southampton, 2-1. But they're not going to suddenly turn from really bad to good. They've turned to a meh club. I don't think they would stay up still. I think they'll finish last. You know? I still think that, but I think they'll go down with a bit of a fight. They'll probably get a few, you know, quite a few more points, but not enough to keep them up. But Wolves, I mean, they could be going for top 10. I don't think they will. I think they'll fall off at one point. But I think Norwich's history, Wolves will get a 2-0 win. Especially after Wolves winning against West Ham, which is very good. From the highlights, it looked like they deserved it. But West Ham still had a good fight. But yeah, Wolves, brilliant. You know, Podence having a good game. Quite a few people having a good game. Obviously, a good finish from Jimenez. Good to see him back. But yeah, don't see Norwich winning that one. Moving on, Crystal Palace home against Aston Villa. I'm saying 2-2. It's going to be high scoring. Aston Villa did manage to win 2-0 against Brighton, which was very good. I nearly got the prediction right. I said 2-1. But yeah, you know, Mings getting a goal, that's good. Obviously, that was kind of an open goal, and it was good from Ollie Watkins. Good composure. Managed to run down. It's a beautiful finish. Crystal Palace, on the other hand, got a high-scoring 3-3 draw against Burnley. It looked like an exciting game to watch for all this goals and stuff, but obviously they've got Benteke. I think they'll score goals with him. You know, they've also got Wilfried Zaha. They've got a good team. You know, Aston Villa also have a good front three, so I think it's going to be quite high-scoring. So moving on, Brighton are home and Leeds United are away. I'm going to say 1-1. Now, Brighton, last 2 games, they drew 1-1 with Newcastle. Didn't really play the best in that game. And they just recently got a defeat against a club that lost their last 5 games. But I think they'll be able to pick up a point. I think they will have a very good amount of chances. But I just think Leeds, they seem dominant over Spurs. And I think they'll do the same against Brighton. But I don't think it's enough to get a win. I think it'll just be a point because Brighton are also good. I think they'll definitely put in a challenge. Moving on to a whole new day. 28th of November. Brentford are home, taking on Everton. I'm going to say 1-0 to Everton. Now, Brentford did, obviously, as you know, drew 3-0 against Newcastle. Newcastle did deserve it. They got way more shots. You know, they seemed better. Obviously, they got some fluky goals against Darlow playing poorly. But Everton are on poor form. Brentford are on pretty poor form. You know, they lost their last 4 games till they drew 3-0 against Newcastle United. But Everton against Man City, just terrible. Jordan Pickford was the only one that actually did anything. He actually had a decent game from what I saw from the highlights. But I think Everton will start getting back at it because they're both on bad form. And I think Everton are a better club. They have more experience. They've got a good goalie. I think it'll be a clean sheet, 1-0. That's a good point to Everton to rebuild. Moving on, Manchester City home against West Ham. I think it's going to be a really high scoring game. 4-2 to Man City. Now, I have gone all wacky with this one, because there has recently been a lot of wacky games with very high scoring. But Man City like to score their goals. I mean, don't everyone, but their club is amazing. World class. They could be title contesters. West Ham, last season, did finish in 6th, but they recently lost to Wolves. And I think Wolves probably deserved it. Man City are just too good. West Ham, you know, they're going to put in a challenge against Man City. No doubt about that. But I still don't think they'll be able to finish in 6th this season. Especially not 4th. But I definitely think top 10. I think they might finish in 8th or something. But not quite there. I think they'll just about skip out 6th. But I think this is going to be their downfall. You know, loss against Wolves. Now they're going to lose against Man City, in my opinion. And then they'll slowly form down to 8th. But moving on, Leicester City home against Watford. 2-0 to Leicester City. Yes, Watford have played very well with a 5-2 win against Everton, you know, like 3-4 weeks ago, whenever it was. And, obviously, the 4-1 win against Manchester United. They did play well against Manchester United, had a decent game. Probably Manchester United defence being terrible, but we'll get onto that later on in the video. But yeah, I think Leicester are better than Man United at the moment, so they'll probably be able to get a win here. They obviously did lose 3-0 against Chelsea. They've got a good keeper, better experience than Watford, and a better club. They're easy, in my opinion. I think it'll be easy for Leicester. Well, not easy, but easy enough. Moving on, Burnley versus Tottenham Hot Spurs, 1-1. Now, Burnley have recently been obviously getting a 1-1 draw against Chelsea, which is very good. You know, they've been 3-0 draw against Crystal Palace, which is also good. They seem pretty decent, you know. They're not doing too bad at all. And I think it'll probably just be one of those corners where Chris Wood or Ben Mee, someone like that in the team, will get a fluky goal. Well, not a fluky, but just a good header. And Spurs will probably control the game. They've got a good enough squad, Spurs, but I think it's going to take time to get back in that form. But I think they could finish in top 6. I think they can. They've got capabilities of. Moving on, Chelsea home against Manchester United. I'm going to say 3-1 Chelsea. Now, Man United don't have Harry Maguire for the next game. Straight away, last game, don't know what their defence were doing against Watford. It was just terrible. I mean, the goal that I think they're going to get against Chelsea is probably going to be a Sancho cross and maybe a Ronaldo header or something like that. But yeah, defensively they were awful. They just didn't play. The squad could easily win the Premier League. For some reason, they're just not connecting. They're not playing well. I don't know why. It's just nothing's going their way. But Chelsea, they're too good. They're already first. They won the Champions League. Man United on poor form. It just seems logical to say Chelsea to win at 3-1. That will be the end of my video. Hopefully you can like and subscribe, and always remember to turn on notifications to never miss one of my fantastic YouTube videos. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.